So here you can see the UN compound of Nairobi that is pretty big and luxurious because it's also the UNEP and UN Habitat International headquarters. And this is the World Food Programme building. This is the pool from the recreation center. Indeed, it was a pretty nice life. Now, my contribution to VAM was built within my TOR. I did a lot of databases for them, but also several trainings for health facility staff to teach them how to hand the food to the beneficiaries and also how to detect who would fall into the different programs. I also participated into a project that was the urban assessment. It was a huge assessment that was asked by the government, and we presented it to them with a huge report that was meant to show that urban settlements of Nairobi and Mombasa were pretty bad when it comes to nutrition, as bad as villages, and to put focus on these urban settlements. Now, my contribution to MNE was mainly this monitoring trip to Narok, where there's the Maasai community. We actually found that 100 bags were missing from one particular warehouse, and so we had to report it. Now, my contribution to the innovation unit was from my part. We went to the field during rainy season so you can see the insects, and it was really adventurous. We did many interviews in 3 different regions of Kenya in order to have an idea of how beneficiaries would feel about receiving cash transfers on their mobile phones instead of food itself. We also had to do a market study to make sure it was feasible. Regarding my contribution to the Unilever and WFP Kenya partnership, I went to this presentation where people decided that they wanted to roll out both communication campaigns, one on dietary diversity and one on hygiene, and they were both sponsored by Unilever. So I went to study the different areas, and I was personally in charge of writing this rollout strategy for 1.2 million children, and it's right now ongoing. Now, I dared to ask the deputy director to let me go to Rome to this consultation with the World Bank, the FAO, and the executive director of the World Food Programme itself, because the topic, it was my 3 last days of internship, and the topic were 2 different things that I had been working on, mainly nutrition within the school meals. Here's the executive director. And the second topic was handing over the school meal programs to the government of Kenya. So while you see the pictures of Kenya, I'm going to explain to you a bit why this is important. It's important that Kenya feeds its own children, and we think Kenya is ready. However, it's also important to make sure the transition goes smoothly, because the government is not going to be sending food to their schools anymore, but it's going to do a cash transfer system. So we want to make sure that schools know how to manage this money and procure their own food from local markets before they're handed over to the government. So I did also this huge study that was my second study within the innovation unit, and one of the most interesting. So all in all, I loved it. I loved mainly 3 or 4 really big projects, and also, of course, the consultation in Rome. And I wanted to tell you that I'm so disappointed I couldn't be here today and I couldn't wake up. It's just an alarm problem. So I'm saying hi to each and every single intern that I wish I could have seen. And I want to tell you that the song I used was about traffic in Nairobi, and Kirsten can tell you how bad it was. Bye!